Hello and welcome to the Gauntlet podcast. I'm Zach. This is Dom. And this week we are going to be reviewing the movie Free Guy,
Free Guy.
starring Ryan Reynolds.
It's not a free movie, but Free Guy. That was horrible. All right, sorry. Let's be good.
Jumping right in with some general movie breakdown.
All right.
So it got on Rotten Tomatoes, it received a 80% on the tomato meter.
Cool.
94% audience score. That's pretty good.
94.
That's really good,
Wow.
actually.
Yeah, that's good.
IMDb, it got a 7.1 out of 10. So scored pretty well.
People like it.
It was a very fun movie. For a comedy, honestly, I haven't laughed that much watching a comedy movie in a while, and maybe I'm just a stickler. But this one, jokes were funny.
Yeah.
So we got some comments. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it was funny because like we were talking about how Ryan Reynolds, like in Red Notice, they overused him and he got kind of annoying. But in this one, he really didn't. It was
I agree.
hilarious.
Yeah, it was very natural.
They did it differently, it was great.
I agree. All right, some comments here. So this person left a positive comment. They said, Free Guy is a very knowing movie, but part of its knowingness is its pop lightness, even its blandness, if that can be seen as a virtue.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean,
I can see that.
but yeah, I can see that. Because they didn't shy away from the pulp culture almost being kind of ridiculous at times.
Yeah.
And they the way they put it in the movie was it's ridiculous. Like it's a game, and the antagonist is freaking out over certain things.
Right.
But it's hard to take
at the same time.
But at the same time,
Yeah.
Guy, I mean, he's AI, so you're like, oh no, don't delete him. But then
Also
like it's a video game.
I love that he was named Guy because he's Guy in The Croods, and which see that movie.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
So you think of that? Yeah, no, I love that they named him Guy because I was like, this guy's dose. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, this person left a negative review.
Okay.
Or negative comments.
All right.
They say Free Guy is a big old mess. It's a movie that's more parts than the sum of its parts.
Huh? Okay.
I don't know. I felt like they wrapped everything up pretty well.
I feel like it wasn't. They didn't take on too much for the plot because while it was okay, I can see how if he says it was all over the place, I can kind of see that. But I think they did it in a great way. Where if it was messy, it was because it was a game world where there's so much going on because there could be so much going on because it was a video game. I think they pieced it together well. For what they didn't bite off more than they could chew. It was a big bite, but they could still chew it pretty well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, totally. All right, this person says Free Guy is refreshingly funny and a heartfelt romantic comedy in the guise of a wacky and surprisingly clever video game action movie. I can see that. I mean,
I think that sums it up pretty well.
Yeah. I really appreciated how it was a comedy.
Yeah.
But they integrated within that comedy the gamer world so well.
Yeah.
But they also stuck in some kind of heartfelt moments.
Yeah, like there was just
really cleverly.
Yeah.
And I like that. I thought it was good.
It was compelling enough, for what it
I
was supposed
agree.
to be. Like it was no drama, but yet they put in enough to still make it not just some stupid potato chip movie,
Exactly. Yeah. All right, this person, negative comment. They say the film neither is incredibly fun or deep, with the result from the film's overly long 115-minute runtime instead of simply being mediocre.
Huh.
I don't know. It didn't feel too long to me.
No, I felt it was long enough for the story.
The fact that they say is neither fun or deep, I feel like, well, it's a video game movie comedy. Like,
right. Like how deep are you expecting?
I'm gonna find. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, whatever floats your boat, I guess, when it comes to your opinion on movies. But
it's not like, you're not a horrible person for not liking a movie, but at the same time,
how dare you?
How do you miss something that
This movie had so much depth to it. No.
Yeah.
But in general, I really like the concept of this movie.
Yeah.
It was kind of refreshing. Like I had heard some things about it, neither good nor bad, just like
Yeah.
some comments on it.
Yeah.
And I hadn't, I guess I'd formed a little bit of an opinion
Yeah.
where I wasn't expecting much.
Yeah.
So as soon as
Well,
I started, and as soon as I started getting invested, I was like, this is cool. I really
Yeah.
and I laughed at a lot of the jokes. Like it was genuinely funny, I thought.
yeah, I remember our brother said it was hilarious. I remember that. And so I was like, okay. So I watched it.
Oh, he
It
did?
actually was.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I remember. And I was like, because yeah, Jordan said it was really, really funny. He's like, have you seen it? I was like, no. I was like,
Wait,
you gotta
oh,
watch it.
it was Jordan? I thought it might have been Nate.
No, it was Jordan. He was
Oh,
like,
that's
oh, have you
hilarious.
seen
Okay.
it? I was like, no. He's like, that's really funny. Which is funny. Because yeah. And and I watched it. I was like, that actually it really is genuinely funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I went in expecting stuff. I wasn't disappointed, which I guess just shows that it was actually good. Because if I expect too much,
Yeah, exactly.
it's-
I wasn't disappointed either.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like comedies, they in most cases they need to focus more on plots rather than characters and like
Right.
development,
yeah,
because comedy runs on the fact that it's a comedy, so
Right.
it's supposed to be funny.
the situations that they're in, you know,
Exactly.
rather than oh, he's becoming someone else. It's like you can throw that in there. Oh, what was the movie? It was really good. It was with Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg. I forget what it was called, but it was really good. That's the one I was trying to tell you of earlier. Side note,
I
sorry.
might know what you're talking about. I
Where
don't.
like his son's
don't
getting
know.
married.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but
It's
I
really
I've
good.
heard of it.
It's
I'll watch it.
hilarious. Oh, it's
Okay.
hilarious. You got to watch it.
Okay.
Concept is a little, but it's good. It's hilarious. Regardless, though, I guess because we got limited time here, we can move into a character development.
Yes, unfortunately, for some reason, our Zoom meetings are so without upgrading to Pro,
Yeah.
they've now changed it where it can only last 40 minutes.
Right. So
That
you gotta
means
condense it.
our run times are 40 minutes. So I guess never mind that we can.
Which is
save
funny
that
because
for-
we were just talking about how
for script
characters don't need to develop too much in a comedy. But there was just enough in this case, I think. Like it wasn't
Yeah, I
there
agree.
wasn't like some like major massive turnaround, but there was just enough
I agree. Yeah.
to feed the audience to carry the whole plot along, I think. So for me, character development, this whole section is just kind of like this cute little puppy that it's like, oh, it's whatever, but it's really cute. You know, like
Exactly.
it
It was
does
like
its job.
that cherry on top that wasn't necessarily needed
Right.
for a comedy. I mean, a little bit obviously is needed. You can't just have nothing, but
Right.
I feel like a cherry on top, or like, yeah, like, you know, an extra cute puppy running around.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily needed, but it really added a lot.
Yeah.
It was like I put surprisingly complex for a comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
And that doesn't
Yeah.
mean that it was super complex for a drama. Like for a drama, this would have been nothing.
Yeah.
But for a comedy, I thought it really did well.
It delivered very well for that
Yeah.
something like that, I think.
And I think for most of these things, it's kind of like, because it's a comedy, and we haven't really done, I don't think we've done any comedies yet.
We like
So-
Red Notice. Is that a comedy? It is, but it's a dramedy. No, it's not a dramedy. I
don't
wouldn't
know.
say.
I'm not sure. Maybe.
Huh?
Yeah. I guess that one's probably the closest to a comedy we've done.
Yeah. We've done a few with Ryan Reynolds. You know, with like the Adam Project and everything.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
It's like his third movie.
Yeah, ish.
The flow remains the same, even
Yeah.
for the protagonist and antagonist breakdown.
Mhm.
Because it's kind of fun and lighthearted because of the circumstances, but it's still compelling.
Exactly.
It's really nice.
Which, how do you keep a comedy compelling without just being slapstick and funny and kind of like a potato chip? You know, like how do
Yeah,
you make
or straight up stupid. Like I've seen some
Exactly.
comedies where it's just like, this is really stupid, and there's only a few funny jokes, and the rest is just kind of like you're
Right.
like kind of
It's like they
Where's the
rely
background?
on like just base humor, or there's no like thought behind it. It's all just, oh, this is funny because it is, and the audience is like, or at least I'm like, yeah, okay, objectively that's funny, but it's not bringing me close to the character because they're not in a situation that makes
Yeah.
you empathize. I don't know. That's crazy
Like,
though.
I feel like you need the character needs to be reacting to something that pertains somewhat to them or the
Mhm.
situation for it to
Yeah.
be funny, like within the movie. It can't just be like you've seen those movies where just some random thing happens and you don't laugh because it's totally random.
Totally unexpected. Not even.
Exactly.
It's like the comedy should always be part of the story and moving it forward in a way. It's kind of like, in say in musicals, the songs are supposed to move the story forward. In movies, the fight scenes are supposed to move the movie forward, So the comedy in a comedy should also move the characters forward enough, like not too much,
Exactly.
but enough, So,
Yeah.
and you can really tell when there's like really good comedies that are just, they're satisfying, But anyway, we can move into antagonist.
Acting.
Is it antagonist, protagonist? At least that's what I have.
Oh, didn't we just do that?
We did character development.
No, but I said the antagonist and protagonist breakdown is kind of the same because it's lighthearted.
That's true.
Circumstances.
It's true. I
It's
remember
still
that now.
compelling.
Yeah.
Because unless you have something to add to that, since
I just had for
for
the protagonist, I thought like it was cool how they, it was not an intimidating protagonist really. It was more of for the situation the characters were in, purely because it was like a development company, all that stuff. It's like, oh, that's so intimidating. But when you related it to the character and their world in the game, I thought it's like we said about the development, it was just enough to keep it compelling. Like they knew, it wasn't going to be some dramatic world takeover, death to millions movie, because they weren't going for that. So for what it was, it complemented it very well. So okay.
Yeah, I agree.
So moving into acting then. Wow. Well, Reynolds is great, obviously, for a role like this. It was very, very good. I don't know the name of the lady, but she's really good. Is she new?
I have it right here. She's been in some things.
Because I saw her in The Last Duel we saw her in The Last Duel and this one.
Jodie Comer.
Which is funny because the only movies I've seen her in are The Last Duel and Free Guy, and they're very different movies. Very different movies.
Yeah.
And she plays both roles really well.
Clicking her movies right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been in quite a few things. I believe she's probably, from the look of it, she is a British actress.
Okay.
So a lot of them are things we might not be as familiar with. But Last Duel, Free Guy. Oh my gosh. Wait a second.
Wait, something I would know?
Okay, never mind. She's not. She was in Star Wars Episode 9.
Oh, just like a random rebel soldier? Or I'm sorry, Resistance, because that's also different. When we review those, I have some things to say about those. My goodness.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, she played Rey's mother in the flashback.
What? I have no recollection of that.
I don't remember that at all either.
Holy crap.
Anyway, that's interesting. Very
that
interesting.
Really interesting. I had no idea.
But anyway, getting back to acting. Yeah, it was really good.
Well,
the circumstance of the movie.
The circumstances, I think, and aside from those two people, like Reynolds and what her name is, Jodie, I think the other characters would be like Jodie's, the guy who was a crush on her.
Oh, like Joe Keery. He's in Stranger Things.
Wait, who? What?
He's Steve in Stranger Things.
You're right. He was. Okay, I was gonna say, I was thinking of a different guy because I would have recognized that. You're right. He was. I forgot he was in this. I love that guy. He's great. So that was cool to see the dynamic. Well, obviously he's great, but to see him outside of the character he plays in Stranger Things, to actually, they worked really well together. I thought for who they weren't excessively nerdy, but they were nerdy enough.
Yeah, they really did work well. Yeah.
So I thought that was good.
Yeah, I liked how there were in the serious moments. Like, okay, so one thing I kind of had a beef with in a couple other movies we have reviewed with Ryan Reynolds in them. Yeah, is that the ones that I feel like the script isn't as strong on, such as Red Notice. Yeah, moments when he should not be his flippant self aren't good.
It's like,
but when they do it well, such as the moments in the Addams Project and Free Guy, you actually can tell and can see that he is a much better actor than just some flippant guy.
Exactly.
Like, he's very good. He's
Well,
been doing
dude,
it for a long time.
he's not just a comedic actor. Like, for instance, we should review The Woman in Gold sometime because he's in that, and that is a great movie. Holy
Oh my
crap.
gosh, we
'Cause,
totally.
like,
You know what?
he's not even comedic. Should we do that next
do it
week?
for next week?
Let's do
We
it next
should.
week. I
Let's
was
do it
thinking
next
I
week.
saw it and I was like, I want to buy that because it was so good.
I have not seen the movie in years, and I
me
really
neither.
liked it the first
But
time.
I just remember it was that potent, you know.
Yeah.
Helen Mirren and Ryan Reynolds, so good.
So good, yeah.
But yeah, so okay, cool. But yeah, so he's not just comedic. So they need to. Yeah, I feel like Red Notice, they did not know how to use that, you know, like how to flip the switch, you know,
Mhm.
and actually make it potent. His dramatic moments potent,
Yeah.
I think.
Mhm.
But yeah. Okay, so I guess that moves us into cinematography.
Yes.
In which case, I don't really have any strong notes about this because
There wasn't. I mean, I'd say there wasn't much. The special effects were cool.
Yeah.
They were well done. But aside from that, yeah, there wasn't. It wasn't a movie that relied heavily on the cinematography.
Mhm.
So
what I thought was really cool about it, I mean, I loved Wreck-It Ralph. I mean, when it came out,
oh, that was such a good movie.
the way they did it in the world, because we always played, like, as a kid, you're playing and you're like, oh, and then like there's little things inside these things, you know, like the characters, and they
Yeah.
can go into each other's games and stuff, and you shouldn't, but they do. And just like the fact that they go through the power cords and into the, you know, into the power strips and everything. I love that whole concept.
So good.
They kind of put that in this in a way where it was like Wreck-It Ralph meets the Lego movie, I said. And the whole concept, regardless, I mean, this isn't really cinematography, but the way they pieced it together, I thought, like, the whole concept was pretty sick. I saw the trailer and I was like, okay, you know. Then I saw the movie and I was like, okay, they pulled it off really well, way better than I thought. So
yeah, the trailer did not. I mean, I saw the trailer. Yeah, when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I was like, that looks kind of dumb, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
I quite enjoyed it.
I quite enjoyed it.
If you know what that's from, comment below because that would be impressive. Although we quite enjoyed it. We're paraphrasing.
We're paraphrasing.
That's the new level of quoting movies, is when
exactly.
you change it to the situation. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Script writing.
Oh shoot! I had a point. Remember, I was gonna come back to it on this, and I forgot what it was.
That's right. I thought it wasn't like. Once again, like the whole thing really just it fits for what it is, right?
Yeah.
There was no like really powerful moments. There was powerful like dramatic moments for the story, like like at the very end when she realizes that he coded Guy to be him flirting with her, you know, like that's a deep moment. It's a very satisfying ending.
Funny is it's such a deep moment, but it is also, I thought, such a cliche.
Yeah.
But even so,
yeah,
which tells how deep it actually is. It was still great, and I was like laughing and being like, "This is so cliche, but I love it."
Yeah,
because it's just perfect. Like it flows. It fits. You know, so well. Yeah.
It's like the very end. Like for me, I saw it. I was like, "Oh, that's cool," because like I knew essentially the whole time, not the whole time, I'm not like super smart, but they made it pretty obvious that it was him, because like why else would Guy be acting this way, you know, out of his program?
Yeah, and why did he know all of her favorite things?
Exactly. It's like, well, who else knows that? Obviously the guy, what was his name? Was it actually Steve?
Keys, I think they called him Keys.
Yeah, so obviously he's the only one who really knew that about her. So how would Guy know unless he'd actually programmed Guy to know that? So yeah, I thought that there was the ending was pretty damn satisfying. I thought it was very
satisfying.
Yeah,
that was very satisfying.
It was very satisfying, and for what it was, you know, like it's beautiful. I shouldn't say beautiful is a strong word. I gotta restrict. We can't be so positive about, you know, some.
But in the context of, say, a comedy, it was beautifully done.
Beautifully done. Yes, beautifully executed. Okay, so music. I gotta be honest. I don't remember the music.
There were only a couple moments where I noticed it, and it was actually pretty good in those
Okay.
moments. I was like, wow, this is actually like compelling.
Good
Um,
music
for a
for
couple
for
times
the movie. Yeah.
for especially for a comedy, because normally you
Mhm.
don't think of comedies for their music score.
Right.
Um, but I mean, yeah, it was. I mean, it was only a couple moments, but
Who did it? Let me see. Because like if depending on who did it, that could say a lot. Um,
um,
Free guy. Christoph Beck. I do not know who he is.
yeah, I've never heard of him.
And I'm a bit of a music connoisseur, so
You haven't heard of him.
probably if I haven't heard of him, then he probably no, I'm kidding.
You probably
I do not know. I know probably 0.1% of the entire movie music world. But yeah, I just don't remember. I feel like it was probably pretty typical for the movie. It wasn't and then again, who's expecting a comedy movie soundtrack to be awesome, like and the
exactly, which is why
memorable.
I kind of cut it some slack, because it's like, well, it was a
Yeah.
comedy,
Yeah. Like
and
if
like
it
a
was
comedy about a video game. So
like it was a rom-com ish. If it was a pure romance movie, some of those soundtracks can be
oh
really
yeah,
good.
those
Like
lean heavily on musical
While
scores.
You Were Sleeping, that soundtrack is amazing. And
It
that
is,
that
yeah.
other one that I forgot the name of it, but it's pretty good. Anyway, rom-coms like this typically don't have soundtracks that are that impactful. Doesn't make them bad at all.
No, yeah,
Just
they just
makes them
don't lean
not like
heavily
a Lord of
on
the Rings soundtrack. My goodness. Um,
it. Yeah,
I haven't seen the warning pop up yet, so we can take our time with this one. Meaning.
I agree. Yeah.
What I mean, it's a
I mean,
comedy.
honestly, it's a comedy. So some of the demographic is, oh, not the demographic. Some of the structure isn't
Yeah.
quite the same. I mean, I guess they stress throughout the movie. They stressed, probably more than anything else, was that you are free to make your own choice.
That's so cliche.
Like
Yeah,
they did
it's
stress
like
that. Like,
yeah,
yeah, it was. I mean,
yeah,
it's kind of cliche, but
yeah,
I
like
feel like
that.
that was, if
Yeah,
you're looking for a point, and honestly, it's a comedy,
yeah,
so I mean, you're not
yeah.
going to get a very deep point.
Right, right.
So
Yeah, I'd say that too. Like it was all about like I guess freedom, you know,
yeah,
because there was a lot of like the restriction of like, oh well, now like what was the name of the corporation of Teco ATT? Um,
oh, I
they were
forget.
gonna take over. Like, what was
Yeah.
it? I forget. Because I mean, weren't they gonna like implement something into the code or something, um, and mess it all up? Or
Um, well, what they were, so they were gonna make like a sequel.
that's right.
They
Oh, and
weren't gonna build upon the first one, so everybody
right,
would lose everything they had, even
right,
though they said they would. So they were lying about that.
right.
But yeah, the whole kind of the concept of the movie was kind of like, so the company takes over Keys and dang it, what's her name? Millie's game,
Yeah,
right? Millie, right?
yeah. And they're fighting
Yeah.
the whole time to get the rights
So
back to it because it was their
they
idea.
want to get back what they lost.
Yeah,
And then all the NPCs find out that they don't have to, just because they're AI, they can, they don't have to, go to, do the mundane things they
do
always
random
do.
shit.
They
Yeah,
felt stuck in, yeah. And then that's kind of, they say again when they get to the island world, or the new map or whatever.
yeah,
It's like, well, we can choose for ourselves now,
yeah.
which, I mean, is kind of a cliche. It's been done countless times, but
Yeah.
also this is a comedy, so
And it's an original setting to a point. Like, I mean, it's a
exactly,
video
yeah,
game world. Like, that's
yeah.
relatively
So
you don't see many movies like
you
that, I
don't
guess.
come to a comedy looking for a deep philosophical meaning.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to like, you got to really like comb over this movie to find a deep meaning. It's not like a Defiance movie,
exactly, like it's a fun movie,
It's
and
not
that's
in
what
your
it was supposed to
face. Yeah.
be.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I mean, it's like you don't want to, I can't not give this movie points because there's no deep meaning. It's like, it's a comedy. Like there's not supposed to be a super deep meaning, you know, like you can't punish them for that.
Exactly. Yeah, I
Every
agree.
movie's gonna be different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess we get to
Um,
rank it now. The fun part. The
yeah.
funnest. Funny. Yeah,
So
something like that. Movie breakdown. What do you
yes,
got?
movie
I could
breakdown.
learn to speak English goodly.
So you cut out for a second, and
I
so
did.
I didn't hear you for a second.
Oh, okay.
So probably just like I was just
Uh,
ignoring you.
uh,
Movie breakdown. I would give it a check mark.
okay. We'll do that. I'll check mark. For Z.
Check mark for Z.
I think I'd do the same. Just
Yeah.
because like as a movie, it fit like if every movie was like a machine, say a car,
Mhm.
it fits together really well. Everything
Oh, that's what I
complements
was
each other
gonna
really well.
say. Thank you for saying that. My
Mm.
point for the script writing that I forgot
Yeah.
was I feel like for comedies, because they rely more on plot than say character development,
Yeah.
because the plot determines the setting and the setting has to do with how funny it is, you know, and
Right.
how the characters react to that setting.
Right.
I feel like the plot points need to be on point because if they're not, there's not structure to the movie,
Right.
it's gonna fall apart. And this movie's plot points were on point. Like I would pause
Yeah.
whenever I thought it was one, and
Yeah.
they were
You'd be
like
right.
they were almost exactly where they needed to
Yeah.
be. Like give or take a few minutes, maybe
Right.
if you're looking at a timeline. But yeah, it was great. So anyway,
That is beautiful.
but
Totally
that
do
being
that.
said, as well, so my movie breakdown, yes, that
Right.
helps contribute.
So extra check. My goodness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's keep that two check marks.
Those check marks. Character development. I mean, I'd say again for what it was, I can give it a check, just because I feel like Guy began and ended the movie at different places. So
I agree. And typically, my gosh, what happened to my camera? That was a random. Typically, typically comedies don't need it.
right, but yet they
So
added
I
it.
so even if I said no for like another comedy, that's not a knock towards it. It just normally isn't really needed
Right,
in much depth. Obviously, some is needed, but you get my point.
right.
But this movie actually dabbled a bit, so I'm gonna give it a check mark.
Cool. Yeah.
Definitely.
Antagonist, protagonist.
My gosh.
I'm well, I mean, what do you got?
Um.
Oh, there's our warning. 10 minutes.
Okay. I don't know. My camera just randomly whacked out on me. It was doing totally fine, and I don't know what happened.
Huh.
I would say actually for this one, I would say no.
Yeah, I was just yeah.
Like I'll give it an X. Like, and again, it wasn't bad, but you know, I can't
It
say
wasn't-
yes to everything.
I know, like for me, I wish it was there a little more. You know, like I wish the stakes. I mean, the stakes were high enough for a comedy, but yeah, I'd say it wasn't really in your face enough, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
from what I remember of it, yeah.
And Guy doesn't and Guy doesn't really interact with
Yeah,
Antoine.
yeah.
Oh, is that his name?
Yeah, I forgot. Like his character, the bad character, isn't he like this guy with like pink hair?
The
Or
bad
am I-
character.
Yeah, yeah. Or am I totally
Um,
getting that wrong?
No, I don't think there's any pink
Because
hair.
he like Channing Tatum's character or his NPC is a bad guy too. I just forget which one is which.
Oh, not really. He's just I mean, he's just a loser gamer.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yes.
He doesn't, I mean, he actually helps them at that one moment when they go and he gives them the clip.
That's
because,
right.
Because he's a
Yeah.
fan of blue shirt guy.
Right. That's right. Blue shirt.
But I mean,
Forgot the
I know
world likes him.
it's kind of hard to have involvement with Antoine and Guy because of the way it's set up.
Because he's a video game
But-
character.
And that's fine, but I
Yeah.
would just say because of that, I would say no.
Right.
But
I'd definitely say no. If you know
so
what that's
do-
from, quote a comment below. Okay, acting.
I'm gonna say yes
Mm-hmm.
because there were moments that really surprised me.
Yeah, no, me too.
I liked it a lot.
I'm gonna say that too, just because I mean it's Reynolds and she's really good. Like I said, only seen her in one other movie, but the fact that she can play two different people that well, like two polar opposite people, very, very well, It's great. Trust
Oh
me,
yeah, that
directing.
was she's a very good actress. Yeah, I agree.
Like you couldn't. They're very different characters.
Very,
Very different characters. Okay,
very different.
cinematography. I'm gonna give that an X just because it wasn't really
Yeah, me too.
potent for me. You
Yeah,
know,
it wasn't a really prevalent force in
Yeah.
this movie.
which I mean might not be to its disservice because it wasn't really about that, but at the same time, it wasn't really in your face enough. Kind of like I said about the protagonist.
Mhm. And not every movie needs all of these points
Right.
to be a good movie.
Right.
These are just the benchmarks we set up.
Right.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
So yeah, it's not like
So
it's
there,
a
yeah.
bad. It's a bad movie. Total,
Exactly.
If it
And,
doesn't
yeah, I
mess her
mean,
up. But yeah.
God,
Okay.
I still liked it.
So I just did that. Okay.
Script writing then.
Script writing. What do you got? You are closer. Oh, not anymore. There we go.
Again, am I back? Okay.
You're back. Yeah.
I'm gonna say yes because
Okay.
again, this one it kind of surprised me. It was way better than I thought it would be, and
Yeah.
much more development than I thought there would be.
Yeah.
Much more flow too. Like it flowed. It was very good. The
Yeah.
plot points
I
too.
have to say
Like
yes too.
plot points
Yeah.
were there on point,
Yeah.
and that's essential for a good script.
For a good script, especially comedy, because
Exactly.
yeah, it's more based
Because
on
also
plot.
the plot points carry the movie in
Yeah.
sections. So it's
Exactly.
like there's the setup leading to the first plot point,
Mhm.
and there needs to be a good setup to carry it to the first plot point. And the
Right.
first plot point carries it to the midpoint, and if that and that's like the first half of the movie,
Yeah.
like a big chunk. So if that first plot point isn't good enough to carry it, that's bad.
Right.
Same with midpoint to the second plot point, and then same from there to the conclusion or the climax of the movie.
Yeah.
So
Rising action.
if none of those flow, if they don't fit, like before, like so for we did MI3, I believe,
Yeah.
and that one did not pass, even though we
Did not
enjoyed
pass.
it.
Right.
The second plot point made the second half of the movie kind of dull.
Exactly. Like it was just like, huh? You know?
Yeah, so that's why they're very important.
Very
So,
important. Very important points.
very important. So I'm going to give script writing a check mark.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, me too. Just because, yeah, it did. For a comedy, for what it was surprisingly deep at some moments.
And you
I
can
thought it was good.
generally see when people can tell, even if they don't know why, like the audience score and
exactly.
general review.
Yeah.
Very positive.
Very high.
It's not like we're the only ones saying this and we know what's best. Like
Right.
this is like people understand this even if they don't know why.
Mhm.
So
Popular opinion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so music, I have to give this an X
yeah, me too.
because I didn't notice it. You know, it wasn't really there for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Meaning, I have to do an X as well, just because it's. I mean, it's a comedy, like we said, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Not everything can be perfect, you know.
Exactly. I'm gonna give it an X as well.
Okay. 8, 4, 5, 6, 8. Oh, you serious? Are you?
Is it another tie?
Are you serious? I know if there's 8 checks, it's half. So and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. We gotta stop this.
You know what we gotta do for this one?
Yeah.
All right. So we have another category called movie comparison.
Okay.
We only used it a couple times.
That's true.
But I think we should do one. We should say based on the other movies we have done
With Reynolds.
With Reynolds.
Good.
And I would say as comedies go, so I wouldn't call The Autumn's Project a comedy. So I would say we're putting against Red Notice and Free Guy. And I would say the Free Guy greatly beats Red Notice.
Greatly beats it. Yeah, me too.
So that would be a bonus point so that we don't end on another tie. Because we can't keep ending on ties.
That'll be the third.
It has to either survive the gauntlet or not survive the gauntlet.
Exactly. That gives us, because I'd give it an X as well. I mean, a check as well. So that gives us 10 checks to 8 X's, right? So it passed, but it took some serious damage. You know, we had to have some like a medivac happen.
You know we need to do, and unfortunately we only have 2.5 minutes left before we can wrap this up. But I think in the future, I feel like this list doesn't really help comedies very much because we've picked things that are more
True.
prevalent
Should
in.
we have like a list based on
I think
genre?
I think we should add, yeah, we should add a few things. Like, so for
Damn.
comedy, we should have put down were the jokes funny, like things like that.
Right,
In which
right.
case,
That's
I would
good.
have gotten a point because I thought it was very
It was
funny.
hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because yeah,
So
like we can't be like the school system and judge everything based on one thing.
I agree. That's
It's
a
like,
great way of putting it. Yeah,
yeah.
totally.
It's gotta blend for different personality types of movies, if you will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, so there we go. It ran the
I'm
gamut.
excited for next week.
Yes,
Woman in
next
Gold
week
is
we're doing
so
Woman in
good.
Gold.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, it's so good. I
like
just
that too.
remember, like we're talking 6-7 years ago, like a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
But I just
It's been a long time.
remember it being really good. And so yeah, I haven't seen it since. I just remember it was awesome, so I'm excited. And we have a minute and 40 seconds,
Yeah,
so we can
we're
wrap
gonna
this up. Next week, Woman in Gold. Comment below your agreements or disagreements with our voting system, and what additional
Exactly.
topics you might want to see in the voting strategy.
Exactly. We can add, we can take away. Well, we might not take away, but we can add whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
We can set up whole new systems of judging given the genre.
Yeah.
Which we might do, like especially for things like comedies.
Right.
But yeah, let us know, comment below, and join us next week for Women in Gold.
Woman in Gold is gonna be great. Okay. Ciao.
Ciao.